You know, when I was very young, I had French governess and English governess because I'm from bourgeois family, and my father was very good engineer, and he very cultured man. He made lots of money. He spoke French and German, translate books. So he wanted that his children speaks all the language outside of English. So I had a French governess, and then he took English governess by name of Miss Visitelli. And I was at that time 9 years old or 10. I didn't learn very much English, but we talked because she talked Russian. She was learning Russian. But we were working together, like a governess doing with the child. So one day, my father told her, Miss Visiteri, you will see maybe in 25 years later, somewhere in some town in England, you will come to concert to my son and he will be the celebrity. And that happens. And that happens. It wasn't not in London. It was in the smaller town. I don't remember. I travel in England. I play everywhere. Glasgow, Birmingham, Edinburgh, Sheffield, Bristol, you name it. Everywhere I play. I tour the whole England. They gave me the medal. They started with Beethoven. They gave it to Beethoven. And I still have somewhere this medal. I think it's the safe. They gave me the medal, the golden medal, for the achievement of the years. That was already a few years ago. Only England gave it to me. That is very nice. That's why I like to go to England. They were very, very, very open-hearted. Only if it is not 5 hours difference. If we will have the same time, that will be the best. I have my habits and I cannot change so fast. That's terrible. I will take my breakfast at 3 o'clock afternoon. The first day. I started to play the piano on the window when I was 3 years old. And I broke my finger. And my mother, I was in the arm of my mother, and she said, "Oh, he will be a pianist probably." 3 or 4 years. That is a joke. They couldn't know it. And so I started to play, and I wanted to be a composer. I was more composing. Till 12, 13 years, I was writing music more than practicing. And I knew the music. I knew all the opera. I knew all the symphonic music. I knew all the ensemble music. I accompanied people and the singer, the violinist, the cellist. I played trio, quartet, everything. And being in the conservatory, I was very talented pupil. So when I was final examination, and I played my final piece, I think it was a paraphrase of Don Juan of Liszt, which is the most difficult piece in the world. And I played with such a éclat. Do you have word in English? Éclat, that the whole panel of the teacher who sat on that green table, there were 15 of them and very good people, they all stood up. First time in the history of the conservatory. With my manager, we went to the zoo to see the animals. It was about 5, 6 o'clock in the evening. And then, after that, I come back to my Atlantic hotel, and I see the manager, local, of Hamburg. perspiring like this. Oh, he said, you don't know what happens. We have a big concert with substitute conductor of Karl Muck. He was a conductor, Mr. Pabst. And he's the conductor tonight. And the solist who has to play she's a woman, she's sick. We have to substitute. Can he play something? That's in 1 hour and a half. It was 6:30, concert started at 8. I didn't have time to dine, I didn't have time to shave, I didn't have time to anything. I put the full dress, I said, okay, I can't play the Tchaikovsky concerto because it was under my finger. So I went there, and the conductor was very not simpatical. He looked at me like that, like, who is that guy who's coming here to play? But anyhow, we have to save the concert. So he looked at me, I conduct the piece like that, and you follow me. I do like this here, like that, here is a little bit faster, here a bit slower, here like that, and so. So I said, okay, sir, yes, I will. Yes, all right. I didn't see the piano, but the piano was quite good, happens to be. So he started the concerto, if you know probably the music, piano. And the conductor doesn't even look, doesn't know that the pianist, I'm there. I just look at him, what he will do. And with the first chord, that means he was conducting, I'm playing here. And with the first chord, he stopped to play. He stopped to conduct. And since that time, it was a pandemonium in the hall. But absolutely something that I never saw in my life. And the hall had only 4,500 people. And I was booked in the hall for 800. And I gave the first recital, which was sold out for 4,500 people in account of that concert. Because the whole public stand up after that. That's how I become the celebrity in Germany, yeah. And from that I went to Paris, to England, and then Italy, and so on. Yeah, the most interesting thing that was his debut too. We did debut together, and he was thinking of himself. And he was not very nice to me that time again, because I had too much success, again with Tchaikovsky concerto, and he conducted without the score and he didn't know it, because at that time they were always interested in the symphony but not in accompanying the solist. It was secondary for them. And when people started to ask me to come to the stage, he came with the speech. So, okay, but we were friends still. But it was scandal because I said he doesn't want to follow me, but I will not follow him. That is, I am the dictator here. I am playing. And we were apart completely. I said he can play what he wants. And we didn't finish together, we didn't work together. The whole thing was ups and downs. And the next day it was a pandemonium in the newspaper. Who is right or who is wrong? But I still had such much noise that the walls were trembling. And that was my success in America. Hey, by the way, we play after that in England in 32, and absolutely friend. And I remember like today, he looked at me, he smiled, and he said, "Mr. Horowitz, this time I have the score." He was a very nice man, extremely. He gave a Beethoven cycle in New York. And he chose me as a soloist. He needed one concerto, an Emperor concerto of Beethoven, to play with him. And by the word of his friend Adolf Busch, who was very close to him, and Maestro Toscanini didn't like stars. He likes only people who make music. And Mr. Bush told him in advance, you will be very much satisfied with Mr. Horowitz because he makes music, he will follow, and he plays well, and so on. So I came to his hotel for rehearsal, as every soloist always come to him. And when we rehearsed a little bit, and he was very pleased, and that I met him and play. And after that, I met my wife. Then I play Brahms with him and many other things, both concerto. Even Tchaikovsky. Oh, then after that, he was my father-in-law, you know. Oh, that was very deep friendship, very deep. I was like his son, you know. And I met him first time in America. I never saw him in Russia because he left in 1917. So I met him in America. And the first day I came here, I was playing his concerto, the third. In that time, it was not known. And he played that with Mahler here. And that didn't have any big success because it was new composition. It was a little too involved that time. And he was telling me that I didn't have success by public, not by press, but who was enthusiastic is Mahler. Every time in the rehearsal, he was stopping me and telling, how schön, Mr. Rachmaninoff, how schön, please noch einmal, again, please. So that was, and Rachmaninoff came to Steinway, a company, first time, not the piano, first time in his life probably. His concert to me, he wanted to hear how I played it. And he heard this from Mr. Kreisler, the violinist, who heard me in Berlin and told me, there is a young man who plays your concerto, you have to hear it, because he is really fabulous. That's how it started. And since that time, we were very much together, all the time. We gave a concert, private, in California, in his house. We played two pianos, and he invited 60, 70 people. And his idea was to give a concert in Carnegie Hall, and two piano of his composition with me, because he said that I'm the only one who understands. And he died. He died prematurely, just like that, you know. I think I got my musical influence with the contact with great artists. In that time, who was much older than me, and I was very close to them, and for some reason, they liked me. So I was very seldom, I was invited by Mr. Cortot to his home for dinner. I was invited by Karl Muck even for dinner. I was invited by Mr. Mengelberg for dinner in Amsterdam. I was invited, I knew Werner Walter very close. I knew all the soloists outside of Rachmaninoff. I knew Paderewski very well. He mentioned me in the book even. And so you see, you absorb things what you hear, but that doesn't mean that your own personality suffer. It is forming. You form personality through that contact. Now, unfortunately, the artist doesn't have so much contact like that time, you know. And I was an exception too. I must tell you, yes. It did help me very much because I heard lots of things which I never argue. I never tell no, or I disagree with you, but I disagree inside of me sometimes. Sometimes I agree inside of me. But I always swallow anyhow, you see. And that formed the influence with the years and years and years and years, you know. I choose the program because I don't like to play hackneyed pieces. Now every young pianist come and play Waldstein, Appassionata, or Moonlight Sonata of Beethoven, or Sonata Schubert to show how intellectual they are and things like that. There are 600 sonata of Scarlatti, which nobody knows, not one. Those are the gem of piano literature. And I will play 6 of them that nobody never heard. And they are beautiful. That's what I think and everybody thinks. And the people enjoy them. Chopin is the only, he's great composer for piano. And I like everything which is written for the instrument more. And he, Liszt, and Schumann, they write for instrument. They are instrumentalists. Everybody can write for piano, but there's not everything sound. They knew how to make it sound, the music, you see. That's why I like to play it. I played the child who sinned because the prince will have the child, and so I thought it's very appropriate. And they're beautiful pieces. They are gem of music, of poetry. It's real poetry. And then I played the sonata of Rachmaninoff, which is a bombshell. Yeah, that is just the reverse. I have no style because I change each time. You know, I go in the morning I don't call it practice. I'm rehearsing now, as I said. And each day I play differently. Today I play differently than yesterday. So I don't have my own style. The most important thing that I told that in the conference that I want to make from piano mostly a not percussive instrument, but singing instrument. The piano has to sing as much as it can. First of all, I play forte piano, or pianoforte. That means to play soft and loud. Like my father-in-law said that some critic like when you don't play too fast or too slow or too loud or too soft or to over-interpret or under-interpret. So then you have to play dull. Then they like it. But you have to do it because that is the art. Something of your own has to come out. If not, through the composer, certainly, but you playing still. It's not Chopin playing, it's Schumann, it's I playing that. So, and nobody knows how they play it anyhow. So it's certainly not the Scarlatti. Mind and the intellect is the guide of emotion, spirit and eloquence and so on and so on, but not the number one. If you play only with intellect, it's not enough. Music is not a typewriter machine. It's not a typewriter machine that you do like this, you know. But that is intellect only, you see. Intellect and visual. But you have to have here that what the composer did have. And that should be always the controller, but not the guide, the mind. You should control what you are doing. Don't do too much, don't do too little, go a little bit that, but give your feeling free, be free. I think the last year I see the music more simple because it was very much exaggerated before in order the public to understand, because public didn't know the music at all. But now they know too much through the record, through the radio, through the television, through God knows what. So you don't need to exaggerate. They know already what they hear. So in that respect, I am more simple. You know, I will tell you some a little bit conceited, which I am not, that I play better if I'm in good mood in that moment. Because as Busoni said that the tragedy of the art is to be that day, in that hour, in your best. Because it could be the next day, it could be the day before, that is very difficult. That the 22nd of May at 4:30 I have to be in my best.